Hi, Ishwar, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Manish, I'm Gangadhar. Ishwar is.
You're from tech classes, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm technical.
Okay. So I think only one. Srinivas, Srinivas, you are there. Srinivas, you have joined, right?
Yeah,
Srinivas? Hi, Srinivas. Good morning. Are you there? So Gangadhar,
yeah, Manish.
yeah, I believe there are three candidates who has to join the class, right?
Yeah, most, yeah. Yuvraj and something, one more student, somewhere.
Yeah, Yuvraj is there. Srinivas was there in the demo class. Yuvraj, we are waiting. Srinivas is there. I think he's not speaking.
Yeah,
And one more girl, Ishwar told me yesterday that she
yeah,
will be joining.
yeah, Samrin, I think.
What's her name?
Samrin, Samrin, Samrin.
Okay, okay. Why Srinivas is not speaking? Can you check with him? Has he joined? He is showing in the list.
Yeah, one second, I will check.
Please.
Yeah, now we can speak.
Yeah. So to begin with, first of all, we should understand the basic definition of a data warehouse. Okay, uh, what is the need for it, and what exactly the definition for it. So if someone asks you before we go into the book's definition, you just try to imagine this is something which stores the data from different sources within an organization, okay, and in such a format which business wants us to store into, so that they can do reporting on top of that, and which will ultimately help them in to take some decisions. Okay, that could be finance related, that could be your business growth, future prospects related. So like if you are in a retail, okay, so you are selling many products, okay, so your X product is being sold mostly in one particular part of India, but not in other part. So you will try to analyze what is the customer trend based on last 1 quarter of data, or last 2 years of data, something like that. So this is the basic goal for the data warehousing. So if you see the definition in most of the books and everywhere, you will find this definition. So you need not to say this definition if someone asks you in the interview. You can just what I told, the basic understanding you can told that why this is required. Okay. So a data warehouse is nothing. It's ultimately a database only. Okay. But the purpose is huge to store a huge number of data. So here if we see, a data warehouse is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile collection of data in support of management's decision-making process. Right. So ultimate goal is the decision-making. Okay. Subject-oriented. Subject-oriented means different subject areas. Okay. So in whichever domain your business is. So in a typical company, like there are different departments we can assume. Okay. Data from HR department, data from finance department, data from sales department. Okay. So these would be our different subject areas. It's integrated. Ultimately, what we are doing, we are integrating all the data and storing at one place after cleaning it and after transforming this data. Okay. Time variant. Data warehouse is being built over a period of time. Okay, it's ever growing process. Okay, data will always increase in this. So initially you take like so how the requirement will come, the customer will come to you and they will say that okay, we want to build a data warehouse, we need the skills, uh, like how this is how the proposal comes to a service company. Okay, they will look for the candidates who can are into this technology, and then they will start building this. So the requirement would be, uh, the architect will sit with them. Okay, they will then discuss how much data they can pull initially. So this is all what business will tell. Architect will help them technically. Okay, this much will be good. Then they will tell the infrastructure. Okay, take Teradata data warehouse or take IBM DB2, like that. Which database they needs to select. Okay, these are all databases, or Oracle database. Oracle generally you will not find in data warehousing because uh, that is for maximum for OLTP system. It cannot handle that much data. Okay, so that is how it goes. So initially they take say around 5 to 10 years of data. That is a huge data, you cannot even imagine. They will first load it, and then it's a time variant. Okay, so daily there would be some, they are doing some business. Okay, they may decide either to load that data daily or weekly or monthly also, sometime quarterly also. Okay, so that's why we call it time variant. And then we say non-volatile. So that data inside the data warehouse don't change. Don't change in the sense that as a user, okay, the end user who will be accessing it, okay, he don't do any inserts or updates or deletes in that. He only uses select statement. So when you say a data warehousing report, okay, what is the report? Report is nothing, it's a select query based on various joins, okay, and then you join the tables required, what kind of report you want to build, and you will ultimately fetch that data. So even a BI developer who who develops a report, at the back end, the SQL only runs, which will fetch that data for him. He just do the reporting part on the GUI based tools like Cognos Business Objects. So in raw language, this is what this definition means. Okay, so we'll see in technical terms how these things are defined. Okay, integrated. So what it says here, the data warehouse is a centralized, consolidated database that integrated data derived from the entire organization. Obviously, it takes from, I mean, all the possible sources from where we want the data. So there are multiple sources, there are diverse sources, there are diverse formats. Okay. So again, see the different formats. HR department is saving the data in, DD, MM, YYYY. At the same time, finance department can save it other way around also, right? Year first and then month and then date. But in data warehouse, it has to be a single format, which ultimately business decides will be good for everyone. Okay, so they have to follow this rule. So that's what they say. Source A and source B may have different ways of identifying a product, but in data warehouse, there will only be a single way of identifying a product. So there are like product codes. Okay, so you may refer to a product with different codes within the same organization. Okay, say you just take a mobile. Okay, so you may refer it to something you can store as per your convenience. Okay, you are a product manager of a different service line, you can store with some different product code. The other department may store with a different product code, but ultimately the product needs to be identified with a single product across the organization. Okay, so that is what they mean to say here. That's why we call it integrated. Okay, then subject oriented. So data is arranged and optimized to provide answer to questions from diverse functional areas. Data is organized and summarized by topic. So we have sales, marketing, finance, distribution, etc. Okay. So sales is a particular subject. Likewise, marketing, finance, distribution, and other departments. Then time variant. The data warehouse represents the flow of data through time. Okay. Historical data is kept in a data warehouse. For example, one can retrieve data from 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or even older data from a data warehouse. So again, it's not like that you will get data from last 50 years, last 40 years. No, business wants to decide, okay, last 10 years of data is critical to me. Based on that, I will start building my data warehouse. Beyond 10 years, what has happened has happened. Okay, that is history for them. So those trends, that time, how the business was in the world is not going to help them. Okay, so today is the competition. Today they want to survive in the market. So now they want to take quick decisions. So it's all up to business what they decide. We are just helping them as a technology consultant. Guys, any questions in between? You can always interrupt and ask. Okay, Srinivas, Yuvraj?
Okay, Manish.
Yeah, you're hearing me. Okay, fine. And then non-volatile, as we discussed, once data is entered, it is never removed. Okay, represents the company's entire history. Near-term history is continually added to it. So near-term history is what? The daily loads, weekly, monthly, quarterly loads. And it's always growing. Must support terabyte databases and multiprocessors. Read-only database for data analysis and query processing. So generally the users have a read-only access. Only the database administrators who maintain the data warehouse, they only have the insert, update, delete access. Okay. Or you will be having as a tester, but only to test the data in QA environment. In production, you always have a select query. Select access. Select is our read access. Okay. Sometimes you, while testing, you want to compare the data in production. You want to see how the existing data looks like. Okay. How does it behaving? So you only get a read access. So that is why we call it non-volatile. It does not change. So see, these are very common terms. Okay, we just need to understand theoretically what is an online transaction processing OLTP and online analytical processing OLAP system. So OLTP is our uh, database which where the transaction happens on a daily basis, and OLAP is something related to the data warehouse. So you can consider like OLTP is source, OLAP is target. Okay, that is how you can relate. So typical example you can see, like in banks, okay, the ATM is there. So many transactions, you go to the bank on a daily basis, okay, you log into net banking, you withdraw money, you deposit money, you go to the ATM, there also you do such thing. So daily you are inserting, updating, delete, these things are happening. So OLTP system is an application that modifies data, insert, update, delete, which actually the user does. Okay, while in data warehousing, user does not do these things, and has a large number of concurrent users. Highly normalized with 3NF is third normal form. So normalization is a very important topic which I'll cover in detail in a separate class. Okay. So right now I'll just tell you what normalization is. This process is nothing but to reduce duplication in a particular table. See, over a period of time, data warehousing tables, especially the dimension and fact tables are there. So dimension table is where we get the data straight away. Okay, they are being loaded with so much data that eventually some duplication happens. Okay, over a period of time, over many years. So to reduce that, okay, they always try to maintain primary key foreign key relationship so that any column at a given point of time, okay, should be dependent on the primary key. There should not be any relation between the columns which are non-primary key columns. So if there is any relation, they will break it down further into a table. So again, that table will be related primary key, foreign key. Then that second table can be broken into third table. So relationship should be very unique. Okay. So that topic is little detailed and very, very important. Okay. So just right now you remember, okay, it is to reduce, duplicacy. So obviously you don't need duplicate data, right, in OLTP. This is banking very critical data. These systems are typically used for order entry purposes such as for retail sales, credit card validation, ATM transactions, and so on. So data warehousing OLAP will be in denormalized. Here we call it normalized, but eventually data warehouses become so big over a period of time that you start with denormalized schema, but ultimately you have to normalize, many tables in your, it's a very big schema. So like there are 100 tables, you may have to normalize say 20, 25 tables. So that do happen in data warehousing also. But yeah, on a bigger level, they are supposed to be denormalized. So OLAP database is aggregated historical data stored in multidimensional schemas, typically denormalized with fewer tables. Obviously, if you don't break, you less number of tables. So what is multidimensional schemas? We will just see in the coming slides. Okay, and what is aggregation, that also we'll see. What is a fact table? Fact table stores aggregated data. Okay, so that all we'll see. So these two are technical terms, OLTP, OLAP. So we must know the definitions of these two. These are important. So again, why OLAP? Why data warehouse? Okay, so need for more intensive decision support. Main characteristics are multidimensional data analysis. Okay, so multidimension means the schema is there. Okay, star schema, snowflake schema. So there are different dimensions, like in a retail company. Okay, there will be a product dimension. What different products are there? Okay, different geography. What all geography you are selling? Time is always a default dimension. Okay, because over a period of time you have to track. Customer, that is another dimension. Okay, then they all dimensions will be connected to a center table. That is that it's ultimately it looks like a star. That is your fact table. So what is the purpose in a retail company? Okay, they want to see how much sale has happened. So they will do sum. So sum is what? Aggregation. So they are aggregating it. Number of products sold. So advanced database support, easy to use end user interfaces. So remember, for such topics, guys, on internet you will get a lot of definitions. Okay, so these slides or something we have tried to kept in a simple language, just to understand you, so that you can talk about it in an interview, or to anyone to whom you discuss with this. These are detailed. You may get different definitions, you may get different diagrams always, but the basic purpose we have to understand behind this technology, because you are just a beginner at this point of time. Later on you will evolve. There are different books, there are different even courses are available in such things. So but right now our ultimate goal is in this entire classes, just remember, I'll try to cover in such a way that you should be able to clear the ETL testing interview. Understood? That is our primary goal of this course, that you should be able to get a job in this field. Okay, it's not so that's why some topics I may cover in very detail, some topics I might not cover in that detail, all keeping in mind what is required for an interview. Is that clear? Yeah, Yuvraj, Srinivas, you are getting it?
Yes, Manish. Yeah, Manish.
uh, okay, yeah, good. So if someone asks, you all know the OLTP versus OLAP, right? You can tell the basic differences just in the previous slides we discussed. This is just more organized. Okay, so what kind of characteristic does they have? So this is for operational processing, this is for informational processing. Okay, this is a transaction, this is for analysis. Who is the user? OLAP, there are knowledge users. Knowledge users means they are the business analyst or the business managers. Here it is mainly the DBA, the database professional. Then this is a day-to-day operation. This is a decision support. It might not be a day-to-day activity to load the data. Then it has the current data on a daily basis, what the user is doing. This is historical. Then it is detailed, flat, relational. This is mainly summarized and multidimensional. Then this is application oriented. This is always data warehouse is subject oriented. Then OLTP queries are nothing but simple insert, updates queries, delete queries. Okay, at times select queries. But OLAP is always a very complex SQL. Okay. Then access, read, and obviously you are modifying the data, so write also. Here it is mostly read. So focus is that we are propelling the data into the system. Here we are taking the information out based on the organized data, transformed data. Number of records are very less here. Number of records are always very huge. And number of users will be very huge in OLTP, but in OLAP it's only select business managers who are going to have the read access in the production data warehouse. Okay. Then we say about database size. Obviously, it's going to be very less for OLTP, 100 MB to some, but data warehouse minimum in 100 GB plus, or more generally in terabytes. So priority, high performance, high availability. This is high flexibility, end user autonomy. So it's basically customized for the end user. Then again, on what metric do we judge? It's just the transaction throughput, and that is the query throughput. So again, some typical theory points. What is the need for data warehousing? Okay, better. So just try to recollect on your understanding when someone talks about it to you, and try to put it in English in your points. Okay, simple. So obviously this is for better business intelligence, BI for end users. Okay, reduction in time to locate, access, and analyze information. You don't have to run to different departments to get the information once you collectively want it. Okay, so you can simply pull your report from data warehouse, which has the data from all the subject areas. Consolidation of disparate information systems. So reduction in time to locate, access, and analyze information. Okay, this we discussed. Consolidation of disparate information sources. Obviously, from different sources we are taking the data. Then strategic advantage over competitors, right? Unless until see, this is the prime goal. Okay, unless until you don't know uh, you I mean about your data within your organization, you can never have the edge. Okay, so this ultimately reduces millions and millions of dollars every year for the customers once they have the correct data from the data warehouse and they are able to make good decisions. So that is why nowadays, if you go, almost every customer, like I'm working with Wipro, so we have so many clients in different service lines. Okay, whether it's energy sector, whether it's banking is the sector where from banking and retail, from where it started actually from retail the data warehouse started. Okay, very long, 10 15 years back around, or more than that. So almost client I have seen from insurance, telecom, every vertical in the service companies. Okay, you will find a data warehousing project for that customer. Okay, you are giving application support to them from so many years. Once the need comes for data warehousing, they will we are the consultants. They will consult whether can you provide me this technology, people. Okay, I want to build it. So obviously we can. So any company you will see, say TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant. So in all the service lines, you will find the data warehousing projects. For the same customer, some company out of these will be doing development, some will be doing testing, some will be doing production support. So this is how the customer gives the work, and this is how it goes actually in the real time. So that's why I mean to have that strategic advantage within your business. Okay, from your competitors, you people are going into digital area now. That's why all these fields have become hot. Okay, ETL, data warehousing, BI, and nowadays big data, and there are so many things, advanced things which are coming up. Then faster time to market for products and service, obviously, and replacement of older, less responsive decision support systems, reduction in demand on IS generated or to generate the reports basically. Then another term sometimes we use is DSS, decision support system. Okay, so basically they are the system which are supporting us to take a meaningful decision based on our business data. So it says like unavailability of tools and techniques for acquisition of data from various sources for answering business questions and making decisions in early days. Yes, so not even early days, even now if you want to extract data from source, you need to have some technology. Okay, so earlier it was not there. Old systems, mainframes, files, flat files, Excel files. So these kind of things used to be there where we store the data in very complex formats. So So once this ETL technology has come and it has grown over a period of time, there are so many vendors. Okay, so and everyone has some features to attract customers. Like Informatica is the market leader. Then comes your data stage, ab initio, Microsoft SQL Server integration service. So different vendors. So now it is there. So that's what they mean to say here. Then intensive effort in data formatting, then data analysis, static and inflexible report generation, time lag in accessing the information at central place. So these are the things which drove into, to build a decision support system. So again, these all things are understanding, okay, from like interview point of purpose, or when you actually work in the, you basically should understand OLTP versus OLAP, okay. You should understand the definition of data warehouse, which we covered in the first slide, okay, why it is subject oriented, why it is time variant, non-volatile, okay. So these kind of things you should be able to understand. And normalization, denormalization, you should always have the basic understanding of that. Data warehouse is denormalized, OLTP is normalized. You generally don't have insert, update, delete access to data. They'll never say that, okay, you always have a read access as a user. So these could be, like different business queries which the top management might be thinking, okay. So which of my sales agent are doing better? So you need to have a report on the sales representative wise, okay. Monthly reports you should have. You need to say in a particular month who has done the more sales, okay. What are the slow movers in my product line? Which products are selling, less, okay. Which of my mobile model is selling less? Why the other is selling more? So you need to understand. You need to see the customer trend and customer behavior, okay. Why the customer is going for different mobile company mobile is not mine. So whichever model is not selling, you will try to analyze. So all such are very generic business questions which will come into the mind of top management when they analyze their financial results, and then how they want to make it growth. So that is why the data warehouse and the data becomes very important. So this is just a theoretical slide, but just to give you an idea, okay. I'll just move on to next slide now. These all will be shared to you later for your preparation. So again, these are based on the same points which what we have discussed, okay. So if we use the data warehousing very complex queries on OLTP system, the performance will be gone. See, remember when you test your ETL ETL testing scripts, okay, the actual time taken is very huge. Since your QA database is going to be small, okay, they will give you some GB of data based only on your project requirement. But ultimately in production, if you run your same query into production, okay, same select query or same minus query in production just to see the data, it's going to take a huge time. Production, you cannot even imagine, it's very, very slow. Okay, in many projects you will get access to production just to see the data there, and sometime to refresh the data from production in your QA for your testing, okay. So that time you will see. So during that time, once your query is running, so if you know the Oracle architecture database concepts, your tables gets locked, okay. So obviously the other users will see the information which is previously there, okay. The current may get changed. So at that point of time, the performance becomes very slow. So that's why in OLTP system, which are generally meant to be fast, we cannot use those queries. And also constantly changing state of OLTP system makes replication of result set difficult. Obviously it's daily changing, okay. Every minute it might be changing actually. So data in OLTP systems are rarely quality assured for DSS analysis. It's not for reporting analysis, okay. So we are not testing it quality wise or at on a daily basis. Then again, because of the size of the database, they are storing less data only. Then the same thing, what are the benefits of data warehouse? So in technical terms, these are the phrases which we can use. So high availability, ease of use, okay, quality and completeness of data. Obviously, all the business rules are applied, so data is completely, as per what business wants, as per the format what has been decided before loading the data. Focus is on information processing, okay, and it's based on knowledge discovery and flexible information access. So the read access will be given to all business managers, and they can anytime log in and can get the information. So one more person joined. I just came to know. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I
Hello.
can hear you.
Yeah, myself Tanushree.
Yes, yes.
Yes, actually I wanted to get an demo sort of thing. So
Yeah,
did join this today's class basically. And
yeah, yeah. I was told about you that, but in the beginning you did not join. So I'll try to recollect some of the things which we discussed initially in this class. So this is the first class basically. Okay. So we had the demo
okay.
last week. I told what all things we covered. I'll tell you also. Okay. So Tanushri, can you just tell me about your total experience? What kind of technologies you have worked on, and
Okay.
uh, why you are looking into
Fine.
ETL at this point of time? So these things I just want to know.
Okay. Actually I have total 7+ years of experience in IT industries. Okay. It includes starting from I initially I was into development, and then recently I just moved to testing from last 2 years. Okay,
Okay.
and that is into manual only. But since I'm looking out for a change,
Uh-huh.
and I need to have something either automation or ETL, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow I thought I mean ETL is in boom, so I thought I'll learn this and I can switch. But sadly, I already did a course in Pune itself. Right now, I'm in Pune,
Okay.
but it
Okay.
was almost like kind of theoretical whatever I got. And when I went for interview, I really could not crack them. So
Okay.
that's my main concern. I was looking out for real, I mean, rather theoretical, I would like more practical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they ask directly, how did you test this, that? Not, they're not asking the concepts. They're asking, what
Yes.
did you do? So
Exactly.
there I did not really crack.
Okay.
And
So you
I don't know.
already took one ETL testing course, right, in Pune, you were saying.
Yes, yes. Informatica also I did learn little bit, because from testing perspective, whatever is needed, that I learned,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but
Okay.
still not very much confident I can say with whatever
Yeah,
I
that's
learned.
that's true. That is actually true, right? In interviews, you will go the way you answer the question, they will catch you whether you have actually worked on it or not. Okay, because they'll give you some practical scenarios. So unless until you have not written SQL queries in data warehouse environment or in database to actually test what is a minus query, okay, how to
No,
check
listen.
duplicate,
Uh,
all those
yeah,
things, right?
Manish, basic things also, even whatever he taught, like whatever scenarios, they do ask whatever scenarios you do. I mean, what is your approach to start with your ETL testing? Okay, minus queries or accept whatever you say, the count we need to
Mm-hmm.
take, then the null
Mm-hmm.
check, all these
Mm-hmm.
things, constraint checks, all these things, duplicate checks, all these basic things I did. I mean, no, and I did say as well, but maybe they were not that
Okay.
convinced with my answers, I can say. So I'm
See,
not sure actually. Yeah.
these are the yes, I got your point. See, these are the concepts which you tell in interview. Okay, but you have to give example from your project. Okay, so a real time project, how you did. So
Yeah.
these kind of things needs to be shared. So like I have the slides and I have the test plans and test strategy documents from my previous project, which I told in the beginning in the demo class also, which I'll be sharing. Okay. So based on that, you have to prepare your answers. Okay. Someone will ask you, okay, I worked only in this and I can answer with respect to insurance project. Okay. This is what I did. This is how my typical, data warehouse was, and this is how I built the test cases. They just want to understand how you brought in the data in your QA environment. That is the most important thing. Then based on that data, how you actually test it. Apart from that, theoretical questions also will be asked. Okay. And then they'll give you simple like, okay, there is a flat file you are loading data into warehouse. How will you test it? Okay. What kind of errors you faced in your QA environment? So what are your different checkpoints during the testing? Right. So
Yeah.
such are the things they will ask. They'll give you a concept. Okay, you did just the previous release. Your new release has come. Okay, how will you, like if I ask you this question? Okay, you completed your last release in the last quarter. Your new release has come for your data warehousing. Okay, as a test lead, as a 7 years of experience. Okay, how will you plan your test strategy about it? Okay, what are the different things you are going to test it? So these kind of questions will be there. So you have to tell how you are going to prepare the data, what kind of different test cases you are going to write. Functional test cases would be there for the new functionality involved in the next release. There would be a huge regression testing would be involved. How you are going to plan your regression testing, whether you will take backup of the existing data in your schema. Okay, if you take it, then do you have that much space in your QA? As a lead, you have to ask for it. You have to check with DBAs. So such kind of things is there where they will catch you. Okay, they will. You have to sound obviously more confident. Okay, first of all, you might not answer 100% question, but at least you should be able to answer 70% of it to clear any interview, right?
Yeah,
On
that.
top of that, SQL, okay, that is the going to be core. They may give you some of their basic scenarios, including like aggregate functions, group by, joins, okay, where they just want to test whether actually you know the concept or you have written the queries. See, interview is vast. There are so many topics involved in ETL testing or development that it depends what, but we'll try to cover all those things which are generally asked, and some, I mean, it depends on the interviewer also.
Yeah.
So here we do have database server and these things. So first things first, like you may have read like slowly changing dimensions and all. Okay, history we maintain in data warehouse. So how to test that, those kind of things, such things practically we will show. Okay, based on but these queries which we'll cover in course are going to be simple in the sense the purpose of that is to cover the concept, not the complexity. Complex queries I'll show you, but for that we should have those kind of tables in our database which we cannot have in a training class. Those tables,
Yeah,
those queries
actually,
will
I
be.
kept on hearing this that it will be more complex SQL queries you
Yes,
should know, and then
yes,
that will have million records and all. But in practically,
yes.
when we are actually also thinking that really how will it work, then we feel blank actually. Because
No,
complex query
see,
means what, multiple tables would be there and multiple number of joins would be there,
yes,
or
yes. See, such kind of things, because databases in a training class are not built from the purpose of that. Okay, but I do have the like mapping documents. I do have those complex queries written with me, which we will not run in the database. Okay, here. Okay, because that kind of millions and rows of data specific to business, we cannot bring in this thing, our class. Okay. Uh, Somehow currently I'm in a banking project. If it would have been few months earlier, I could have logged into my system of my project, and I could have shown you actually we're running in a database. Okay, so running in a database and writing a query and showing you is not going to make much difference. The reason being, we'll just watching that query, okay, whether it will display the results, and then analyze that result. Most of the results we can assume, okay, this is what the output is going to be. But how you have written such a complex query based on the mapping document is where you are going to get the true picture of your ETL project. Unless until you have, see, you are going to an interview after reading concepts, after reading ETL tool concepts, and after reading these basic SQL. Unless until you have not seen what a mapping document looks like, okay, seeing, just by seeing that document, how you are going to write your SQL. Unless until you have not done that, you can never be confident about it. Okay.
yeah, no.
Yeah, that is the
Fine.
main thing. Yeah,
No,
you need to
actually,
know these
to be
things.
very frank, even I did that as well because this, I
Mhm,
mean, maybe it is killing your time as well because we're talking all these things. We did that
mhm,
mapping sheet and creating the SQL queries for the test project, whatever we did. But I
mhm,
don't know, our interview questions, they're asking something very different. For example, they're taking really some real-time scenario, like they're asking, for example, your data is getting refreshed very frequently. In that time, what
mhm.
would be your approach? So that time also, I mean, apart from this basic SQL queries, that's fine. But when they come to data warehousing, they're asking like this question, and in Informatica
So
as well,
what you
what
can
all things have
do,
you done?
hmm,
So how it will
Informatica
be
generally they
helpful for
won't go
me?
in deep. Yeah. So what you can do, Dhanushi, you try to get that set of questions which were asked to you in an interview. Okay, maybe we can discuss after the class. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, because since let me cover couple of slides for today,
Yeah,
then
sure.
maybe I'll discuss with you one on one for a few minutes after the class. You can directly call to my mobile. Okay, I'll share it with
Okay.
you, and
Okay.
we will just discuss about that. Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Great. So Yuvraj Srinivas, we'll just go ahead. We'll just try to cover a few slides for today's class, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, Manish. Hello.